Hello there. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Well, a few of my friends on Facebook asked me to continue reading from Carl Jung's Red Book. So, I do mind if I don't. This is chapter 5. Dies 2. I awaken. The day reddens the east. A night, a wonderful night in the distant depths of time lies behind me. In what faraway space was I? What did I dream? Of a white horse? It seems to me as if I had seen this white horse on the eastern sky, over the rising sun. The horse spoke to me. What did it say? It said, "Hail him who is in darkness, since the day is over him." There were 4 white horses, each with golden wings, and they led the carriage of the sun, on which Helios stood with flaring mane. I stood down in the gorge, astonished and frightened. 1,000 black serpents crawled swiftly into their holes. Helios ascended, rolling upward toward the wide paths of the sky. I knelt down and raised my hands suppliantly and called, "Give us your light. You are flame curled and twined. Crucified and revived, give us your light, your light." This cry woke me. Didn't Ammonius say yesterday evening, "Do not forget to say your morning prayer when the sun rises"? I thought that perhaps he secretly worships the sun. Big heavy book. Outside, a fresh morning wind rises. Yellow sand tickles the fine veins down the rocks. The redness expands across the sky, and I see the first rays shoot out into the firmament. Solemn, calm, and solitude on all sides. A large lizard lies on a stone and waits the sun. I stand as if spellbound and laboriously remember everything from yesterday, especially what Ammonius said. But what did he say? Oh, that the sequence of words have many meanings, and that John brought forth the Logos to man. But that does not sound properly Christian. Is he perhaps a Gnostic? No, that seems impossible to me, since they were really the worst of all the idolaters of the world, of the words. Let me read that again. No, that seems impossible to me, since they were really the worst of all the idolaters of words, as he would probably put it. The sun fills me with an inner exaltation. I should not forget my morning prayer, but where has my morning prayer gone? Dear son, I have no prayer, since I do not know how one must address you. Have I already prayed to the sun? But Ammonius really meant that I should pray to God at the break of day. He probably does not know. We have no more prayers. How should he know about our nakedness and poverty? What has happened to our prayers? I miss them here. This must really be because of the desert. It seems as if there ought to be prayers here. Is this desert so very bad? I think it is no worse than our cities. But why then do we not pray there? I must look towards the sun as if it had something to do with this. Alas, one can never escape the age-old dreams of mankind. What shall I do this whole morning long? I do not understand how Ammonius could have endured this life for even a year. I go back and forth on the dried river bed and finally sit down on a boulder. Before me there are a few yellow grasses. Over there a small dark beetle is crawling along, pushing a ball in front of it. A scarab. You, dear little animal, are you still toiling away in order to live your beautiful myth? How seriously and undiscouraged it works. If only you had a notion that you are performing an old myth, you would probably renounce your fantasies, as we men have also given up playing at mythology. The unreality nauseates me. What I say sounds very odd in this place, and the good Ammonius would certainly not agree with it. What am I actually doing here? No, I don't want to condemn him in advance, since I still haven't really understood what he actually means. He has a right to be heard. By the way, I thought differently yesterday. I was even very thankful to him that he wanted to teach me, but I am being critical once again, and superior, and may well learn nothing. His thoughts are not that bad at all. They are even good. I don't know why I always want to put the man down. Dear beetle, where have you gone? I can no longer see you. Oh, you're already over there with your mythical ball. The little animals stick to things, quite unlike us, no doubt. No change of mind to hesitation. Is this so because they lived their myth? Dear scarab, my father, I honor you. Blessed be your work in eternity. Amen. What nonsense am I talking? I'm worshipping an animal. That must be because of the desert. It seems absolutely to demand prayers. How beautiful is it here? The reddish color of the stones is wonderful as they reflect the glow of 100,000 past suns. These small grains of sand have rolled in fabulous primordial ocean. Over them swam primordial monsters with forms never beheld before. Where were you, man, in those days? On this warm sand lay your childish primordial animal ancestors, like children snuggling up to their mother. O Mother Stone, I love you. I lie snuggled up against your warm body, your late child. Blessed be you, ancient mother. Yours is my heart and all glory and power. Amen. What am I saying? That was the desert. How everything appears so animated to me. This place is truly terrible. These stones, are they stones? They seem to have gathered deliberately. They're lining up like a transport troop. They arrange themselves by size. The large ones stand apart, the small ones rank close, and gather in groups that preside over the large ones. Here the stones form states. Am I dreaming or am I awake? It's hot and the sun stands high. How the hours pass. Truly the morning is nearly over, and how astonishing it has been. It is the sun, or is it the living stones, or is it the desert that makes my head buzz? I go up to the valley, and long before I reach the hut of the anchorite, he is sitting on his mat, lost in deep reflection. My father, I am here. How have you spent your morning? I was surprised when you said yesterday that time passes quickly for you. I don't question you any more, and this will no longer surprise me. I've learned a lot, but only enough to make you an even greater riddle than you were before. Why all the things that you must experience in the desert? You wonderful man, even the stones are bound to speak to you. I am happy that you've learned to understand something of life of an anchorite. That will make our difficult task easier. I don't want to intrude on your mysteries, but I feel that you come from a strange world that has nothing to do with mine. You speak truthfully. I am a stranger here, more foreign than you've ever seen. Even a man from Britain's remotest coast is closer to you than I am. Therefore have patience, master, and let me drink from the source of your wisdom. Although the thirsty desert surrounds me, an invisible stream of living water flows here. Have you said your prayers? Master, forgive me. I've tried, but I found no prayer. Ere I dreamed that I prayed to the rising sun. Don't worry yourself because of that. If you had to find a word, your soul has nevertheless found inexpressible words to greet the break of day. But it was a heathen prayer to Helios. Let that suffice for you. But, O Master, I prayed not only to the sun in a dream, but in my absent-mindedness also to a scarab in the earth. Be astonished at nothing, and in no case condemn or regret it. Let us go to work. Do you want to ask something about the conversation we had yesterday? I interrupted you yesterday when you spoke of Philo. You wanted to explain your notion of the various meanings of a particular sequence of words. Well, I'll continue my account of how I was freed from the awful predicament of spinning words. A man my father had set free once came to me, this man whom I've been attached to since my childhood, and he spoke to me and said, "Oh, Ammonius, are you well?" "Certainly," and I said, "As you can see, I am learned and have great success." "I mean, are you happy? Are you fully alive?" I laughed. "As you can see, all is well." The old man replied, "I saw how you lectured. You seemed to be anxious at the judgment of your listeners. You wove witty jokes into the lecture to please your listeners. You heaped up learned expressions to impress them. You were restless and hasty, and still compelled to snatch up all knowledge. You were not in yourself. Although these words at first seemed laughable to me, they still made an impression on me, and reluctantly I had to credit the old man, since he was right. Then he said, "Dear Ammonius, I have delightful tidings for you. God has become flesh in his Son, and has brought us all salvation." "What are you saying?" I called. "You probably mean Osiris, who shall appear in the mortal body?" "No," he replied. "This man lived in Judea and was born of a virgin." I laughed and answered, "I already know about this. A Jewish trader has brought me tidings of our Virgin Queen in Judea, whose image appears on the walls of our temples, and reported. It is a fairy tale." "No," the old man insisted. "He's the Son of God." "Oh, then you mean Horus, the son of Christ. Excuse me. Let me reread that. Then you mean Horus, the son of Osiris, don't you?" I answered. "No, he was not Horus, but a real man. He was hung from a cross." "Oh, but this must be Seth, surely, whose punishments our old ones have often described." The old man stood by his conviction and said, "He died and rose up on the third day." "Well, then he must be Osiris," I replied impatiently. "No," he cried, "he is called Jesus the Anointed One." "Ah, you really mean this Jewish God whom the poor honor at the harbor, and whose unclean mysteries they celebrate in cellars?" "He was a man and yet the Son of God." The old man stayed staring at me intently. "That's nonsense, dear old man," I said, and shoved him the door. But like an echo-distant rock faces the world, words returned to me, "a man and yet the Son of God." It seemed significant to me that this phrase was brought to me, to Christianity. But don't you think Christianity could ultimately be a transformation of your Egyptian teachings? If you say that our old teachings were less adequate expressions of Christianity, then I'm more likely to agree with you. Yes, but do you then assume the history of religions is aimed at a final goal? My father once bought a black slave in the market from the region of the Nile. He came from a country that had heard neither of Osiris nor of other gods, and he told me many things in a more simple language that said the same thing as we believe about Osiris and the other gods. Learn to understand those uneducated Negroes unknowingly already possessed most of what our religion and the cultured peoples have developed in complete doctrines. Those able to read that language correctly could thus recognize it is not only the pagan doctrine but also the doctrine of Jesus. And it's with this that I now occupy myself. I read the Gospels and seek their meaning, which is yet to come. We know their meaning as it lies before us, but not their hidden meaning, which points to the future. It's enormous to believe that religions differ in their innermost essence. Strictly speaking, it's always one,